I want to focus on China, but you did make a comment about the US, which will allow us to slowly move into what I'd like to talk a little bit more about, which is politics. I'm a political scientist. But you mentioned the role of athletics and how that seems to be part of the problem, that we have a disinvestment from higher education, and there seems to be this kind of new focus on, or a focus on athletics to the exclusion of academics. Having spent 11 years at the University of Oklahoma, not only am I a Sooner fan, but I appreciate the role of athletics politically in actually saving public higher education in a context where conservative politics in the United States, basically the entire Republican Party, is pretty anti-intellectual and associates higher education with liberals and the Democratic Party. And I think without Sooner football and similar things in other red states, there wouldn't even be higher public education today. So I'm not sure, sort of thinking strategically, sports have played an important political role, I think, in helping preserve what little there is to preserve in higher education. And I'm not sure if there's any relevant comparative thought for thinking about China. There's not really a debate within China about, well, I guess this is maybe kind of a lead over to thinking about the politics of higher education. And you started discussing this, disagreements over not just the philosophy of higher education, but the political role of higher education.
Let me just comment first on the 特色 of American higher education is this craze of athletics, which really dates from the latter part of the 19th century. So it's been going for also about 130 years, and it is no other university system in the world has this operation. And for those teams that do well and win, as the Sooners used to anyway, it can be a market advantage without question. Harvard, your viewers may not know, so in American football, which is a big sport in this country, and college football in particular, perhaps, but Harvard University won 7 national championships in football. The last one was in 1920, so it's been a while. But it shows you, and yet, I think the question that I asked, and I do ask this in this book, is that why are the citizens, if you look at what states actually fund and how they fund public higher education, why do the great citizens of Alabama they would do anything to support the Crimson Tide and to pay their coach some extraordinary salary, many times that of the president? Why don't they support the public university system, which educates their own children in the state? And most universities don't have first-class football teams. There's this tiny number that consistently are at the absolute top, and those will bring in extra revenue for others. Here at Berkeley, I went to the Cal-Stanford game just the other day, and Cal, as the football team is known, smotched Stanford, a great victory, a sellout crowd. Very rare that they have a sellout crowd, but they, this is a massively money-losing operation for the university. It's great for the students. It's wonderful for the alumni, but it is, and it's a fact of life. Can't easily get rid of athletic programs these days, but it overshadows the fact that here we are in one of the wealthiest states in the world, not just in the United States, and you see this consistent set of crises over the funding of public higher education. The graduate students right now and postdocs here are on strike because of the very meager stipends that the state budget allows them to have. And they're, earlier this morning, I could hear them marching around. This is, so many people will try to emulate some things at American universities. I haven't seen any country try to emulate intercollegiate athletics in this way. Something that we got, in some sense, from a belief that athletics and education ought to go together from our British forebears, but the British have never taken it to this insane extreme. My personal view.